Welcome in. It is day 170, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today, we're going to be going over a smaller game. I just played it for the first time. It was part of the group of games I played for that long game day, but it hit huge. I really liked it. I've already ordered it on Amazon for myself. I'm really excited to have it as my own copy. The game is called Tides of Madness. Now, the concept of Tides of Madness is really cool. So this is a Cthulhu game. And the idea is you're going to play 3 rounds. In the round, you're going to shuffle up the 18 cards and deal each person 5. Then, you're going to pick a card, you're going to place it down, and you're going to wait for your opponent to do the same. When you do, you flip the cards over. You're going to basically be able to see which cards you each grabbed. And then, if either of you has a card that has tentacles on it, you have to grab a madness token, which is a representative of Cthulhu getting into your mind. Then you're going to exchange the 4 cards left, and you're going to do it again. Now, these cards on them should have, between the 18 cards, there are 5 different suits, and there's 3 of each suit, and then there are 3 that don't have a suit on them, one of which is a wild. The idea is that some of these will say, okay, well, when you get to the end of the round, which is you go back and forth until you each have 5, you're going to score, this will score 3 points for everything with the tower suit that you own. And then you'll look in the corners and say, all right, well, the one that had it didn't have a tower on it, but I have 2 of them, so I'm getting 6 points. And then another one might say, you're going to get 7 points if you have the majority of the towers. And you look again and you go, well, I have 2, they have 1, I have the majority, I get 7. And then another card says, you're going to get an additional 4 points for every majority that you won. So you'll look and you'll go, well, I got the 7 for that majority, so I'm getting the +4, so I'm getting 11. You add your points up, your opponent does the same, you write it all in. You also are going to count up your madness tokens. If either of you gets 9, that person loses the game, the other person wins the game, ends right there. Now, first round, that's not possible. You're only getting 5 cards. There's no way that you're getting 9 in the first round. However, whoever has the most madness tokens at the end of the round gets one of 2 choices. Either they can remove one and get it out of them, or they keep all the madness tokens, but they get an additional +4 points. You're taking a risk, because if you don't get rid of that madness token, you know what's going to happen over the next couple rounds. So then you move into the next round, and what you do now is you look through your 5 cards, you pick one, you put it back down, you keep it. Even if this is a card that would have given you a madness token, you do not get a madness. You're keeping this permanently, and it's basically considered to have never left from before. You're picking another card, and you're eliminating it from the game. You put them both face down. When your opponent does the same, you reveal them. You both know which cards have been eliminated. You both know which cards are permanently part of that person's group. And then you each draw 2 new cards, and you start again. You do your 5 and 5. You figure out your points. You figure out your madness. And then, at the end of that round, again, the card you kept before is still yours. That's permanently your card. So you slide it to the side. You then, out of your 5 cards, are choosing one to keep. You're going to place it below. Choosing one to eliminate, putting it to the side, and then revealing. And then, once you've done all that, you draw the last 2 cards each. You've now gotten to 18 cards total, and you play your 3rd round. If at any point along the way, one of you at the end of a round has 9 or more tokens for the madness, you lose. If both of you have 9 or more, you both lose. And if you get to the end and neither of you have it, now you're going to go based on how many points. It's a really fun game. It's a lot of balance. That ability not only to permanently keep a card and for it not to be able to affect you madness-wise, but for you to eliminate a card really helps, because you might say, okay, I want to get this particular card because I know that I'm going to play this and it's going to be a tower. And then I know that when I play my first card, I have this other one that scored majority for towers. And then I'm going to eliminate this tower. So it means the only thing that can happen is that if I don't get a tower, they get the last tower and we tie for the majority. But the odds are in my favor. So you could go for that, or you could try to put one down that's madness here and eliminate a madness and make sure if your madness is high, be like, well, it's only so many madness cards and these 2 are now permanently eliminated. I can't draw that much more madness anymore. That'd be a big help. Or you could do the opposite and be purposely trying to keep the madness because you noticed that in round one, your opponent was really bad and got 4 or maybe even 5 madness. And you're like, okay, I had 3 madness in my hand, or let's say you have 2 madness in your hand. Well, I'm going to eliminate one that's not a madness. I'm going to keep one that's not a madness. And on my first keep, I can keep the other one that's not a madness. So between these two and then the rando other 2 cards I'm going to get, then there's a good chance I'm going to be giving all this madness to my opponent. And I'm really trying to put them over the edge. So there's a lot of options with it. It's really cool. I really enjoy it. But why don't we jump into our 7 categories and see where this really lands for us. When it comes to that art, this game has a beautiful box, and I really, really like what they do with their card art. It's fabulous for me. It's a thumbs up. When it comes to those components, I really think the cards are top notch as well. They're really well put together. I'm not worried about them ripping or wearing. And I'm a big fan of the Madness tokens. They're a good cardboard. There's a question because they gave us 20 in a 2-player game where only 9 are required for you to die. Seems like they went a little excessive there. But my guess would be is that there was no additional cost to this game as a result. And that doesn't affect the quality of the component. It's just the question of why they gave us so much extra. That being said, it's a thumbs up. Jumping into that price, where does this price land for us? The game isn't expensive. You know, you're usually right around $15, maybe $20. Now, I haven't seen this at a Target before, but I do believe I've seen this at a Barnes & Noble before, and it's definitely at some board game stores, at least 2, maybe 3 out of 5. It's available online. It's not too expensive. It's a thumbs up. Your difficulty. I learned this game before the first round was done. It made total sense. I understood the game before we played the first round. You know, the rules were read to me. He explained what was going on, and despite him being the one that played the game normally and me being the newbie, when we went through our game and got to a certain point, it was actually me that grabbed the rule book, looked through it, and then corrected him on a card. I felt this game was really easy to pick up. It was perfect for me. Now, maybe it's because I'm a trick-taking game player, and so I'm used to having like rules that offset based on the trick takings I've played. But for me, it hit really strong. It was a big thumbs up. I think anybody can learn this, any level. I don't care if you're the kids, if you're a beginner, if you're the experienced or the expert player. I think anybody can learn it, and I think anybody can enjoy it. What about when we're talking about the replayability? I only learned it the other day, and I played 2 games in a row. Actually, maybe 3. It was really easy. I would have kept going. It's one I want because I think my wife and I can play this in like 10 minutes, and we can easily have a night where we just pull it out and play 5, 6 games in a row. I love games like that, and this was perfect for me. Replayability, very strong thumbs up. What about when it comes to that keys to victory? Where are they? How are they? What are they doing? So, yes, the game's short. It's fast. It's pretty straightforward. But there are a lot of keys to victory. Are you purposely trying to get all of the madness because it's getting you those bonus 4 points around? Are you going after the one thing? I'm just going to get everything that can score my towers for me. Or are you splitting things? Every card I get is going to give me a score off a different card. You know, there's so many ways to go after this, and I think this game does a really good job of it. I really like what they do here. I think that the keys to victory are all over this. It's a big thumbs up. Is it unique? So I really like the game, but despite not knowing the name, I was informed that there is a different version of this that comes where it's just not Cthulhu. It's the same exact game but without Cthulhu, which sounds cool. It's apparently historical buildings. So you've already got another version of this. And then on top of that, again, it can really compete with the idea almost of a trick-taking game. It's not a trick-taking game, but the way the cards play are very similar and the speed of the game is very similar. And there are plenty of other small card games I've played that have that ability of, we're going to play cards fast. You think of like Air, Land, and Sea. That's a great comparison to this. It's a game that definitely I could see it being compared and being in that argument of, okay, well, this is what you're competing with, so this is how what do you want to play? Oh, I'm in the mood today for a military game. I'm in the mood today for a Cthulhu game, or I'll play the other version of this, same exact game, just no madness tokens, and play a historical game. I think that it's not unique as much as I'd love to give it to it. It's got to be a thumbs down. Overall, what do I think of this game? I really, really liked this game. I think this is a massive recommend, and it is definitely one of those games that I say, don't even have to play it. It's not that expensive. Just buy it. It's a game you will enjoy with your kids, you'll enjoy it with your spouse, you'll enjoy it with your friends. Grab the game. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you don't want to go out and grab a game without having played before. Totally acceptable. Maybe you aren't a big fan of smaller games, so this one's just not going to hit for you. Or maybe you just don't like the Cthulhu theme, which is obviously fine. I try not to overwhelm it. I've only got a couple games with Cthulhu theme because I don't want too much of that. I like to split my theme where I can. Well, it has been day 170, and we've been speaking about Tides of Madness. And you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description where I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.